What's going on, YouTube? Happy Juneteenth, happy Friday. It is the Obsidian Alliance. I am the Blair Thomas.
Bitch Bobs.
And we are here to talk to you about, one, Juneteenth, what it means, and just some of the great influential black people through the ages who have paved the way for us. There would be no us without them. So we're here to pay our respects today. Shouts out to everybody celebrating. Shouts out to Black Lives Matter movement. Shouts out to blackness, because that's what it's about today. We're going to go ahead and kick it off right now. Juneteenth is celebrated Friday, June 19th. It's a holiday celebrating the liberation of those who have been held as slaves in the United States. Originally a Texas state holiday, is now celebrated annually. It was to celebrate the last person of color being enslaved and being freed on this day. So that's what we're here to celebrate. We are celebrating the official freedom of our people. Got the shirt to match today. You know, I came ready. You know what I'm saying? But yes, we're here to talk about some folks. Major Five, go ahead and kick it off for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go with, by any means necessary, Malcolm X. He's an American activist. He's a minister. He was also a Muslim.
Okay.
He died at the age of 39. He had 6 kids. One of his quotes, he was a part of the Muslim nation. Nation of Islam, sorry. But one of his quotes that I got from him that really resonated with me most is, if you're not ready to die for it, put the word freedom out of your vocabulary. Very powerful words.
Big facts, big facts.
How about you?
I'm going to start with the great and late Maya Angelou. She was a civil rights activist. She was a poet. She was an author. And one of her famous quotes is, "Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible." And what I take from that is pretty much, if you don't learn the lessons from the past, you're not going to have a very bright future or a present.
They will haunt you.
Pretty much. But she did wonderful things for the civil rights movement. She was actually she organized a lot of the marches. She organized a lot of the fundraising. She's just one of the most intelligent, bright, and wonderful black women of the ages. She's been on TV for more than 50 years. She was an editor and a freelance writer in various African journals. Just a whole bunch of stuff. I could literally go on for days here. Her autobiography, Cage Bird, considered an influential book in the genre. You know, she is, of course, the first female poet to recite a poem at a U.S. presidential inauguration. Come on now. Maya! Got nothing for love for you, babe.
And she did Off Top of the Dome. That was her poems too.
Off rip.
Off rip, go to different colleges, recite her poems. She was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I got George Washington Carver. He was an inventor, a famous, actually a scientist for the 20th century. Most people think of him as the man who made peanut butter. He did way more than that. He also did soybeans. He did agriculture. He did potatoes also. So when people say, "Oh, he just made peanut butter," that's just y'all playing him.
Exactly, bro. Don't try to downplay.
Yeah.
Don't try to downplay.
Yeah, hundreds of different inventions.
And over 300 uses for the peanut.
Yeah.
Just for the peanut. Don't ever sleep on Carver.
Don't sleep on Carver.
Ever.
And one of the quotes I got from him is, "Where there is no vision, there is no hope."
Period. For me, I'm going to go with my man Thurgood Marshall. He graduated magna cum laude from Howard University in 1933.
Had to be smart. Had to be smart back then.
Do you understand how intelligent you have to be?
They let everybody go to college now, like now.
Hey, I'm trying to tell man, what? And then to graduate is magna cum laude? What? Right.
That's an A.
In 1936, he won his first case of Murray versus Pearson. This is one of the many cases of racial segregation and unlawful imprisonment for African Americans. His first victory in the Supreme Court came in Chambers versus Florida, 1940. And of course, y'all know him for one of his most famous cases, 1954 Supreme Court case, Brown versus Board of Education. And that was a victory for him as well. In 1961, the newly elected president, John F. Kennedy, appointed Thurgood Marshall as the judge of the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals, serving as a circuit court judge over the next 4 years. Marshall issued more than 100 decisions, none of which was overturned by the Supreme Court. A black man that had 100 ideas and not one was turned over by the Supreme Court. That's what I'm talking about. Shouts out to Thurgood, man. Shouts out to him. In 1965, Kennedy's successor, Lyndon B. Johnson, appointed Marshall to serve as the first black U.S. Solicitor General, the attorney designated to argue on behalf of the federal government before the Supreme Court. And during his 2 years as solicitor, he won 14 out of the 19 cases he argued in the Supreme Court. Come on, bro. And my famous quote for Thurgood: history teaches us that grave threats to liberty often come in times of urgency, when constitutional rights seem too extravagant to endure. I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
Right.
All this is energy. I'm loving all this black energy. This is blackout.
Right.
Look, this is the blackout video. That's what we're gonna call it. This is blackout right now. What you got?
I got Rosa Parks, man.
Uh-oh.
She was an activist, civil rights movement, very pivotal during the Montgomery boycotts.
Mm-hmm.
She's known as the First Lady of Freedom,
Okay.
Lady of Freedom, or Civil Rights, then the mother of freedom movement. And I got one quote from her, man. All I was doing was trying to get home from work. She would tell them, "Nah, I'm straight. I'm straight."
Exactly. Move your seat. Now I'm good, love. Enjoy. Enjoy. I'm not moving.
Pivotal.
Exactly. Shouts out. Shouts out to her. And last but certainly not least, we have one of Malcolm X's, I guess, proteges, as though you could say it. Mr.
Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, Louis Farrakhan. And you can look up some of his interviews from numerous people just trying to get his take on the world and about segregation and, of course, you know, police brutality and his views of America. He just told the truth. He just straight up told the truth. I was actually just watching an interview. He just was talking. I forget what talk show host he was talking to, but the person said, the interview said, this is that Nigeria is the most corrupt nation in the world. And he was just like, how could you say that? You know, when you have America here, who's over 200 years old, and we're still fighting over skin color. Come on now.
Too much bloodshed.
Too much bloodshed. Talking about, you know,
Native Americans.
you know,
Bombing.
America being built on the back of several people, not just my people, Native American people as well. And there's probably some Spanish thrown in there too. The bloodshed is real, and he just was not afraid to talk about it. And I love this quote. This quote: "There really can be no peace without justice. There can be no justice without truth, and there can be no truth unless someone rises up to tell the truth." Simple as that. Now, we just briefly touched on these powerful people in history, and of course, if you want to dig deeper, which you should, because it is Juneteenth, learn your history. We're going to keep digging, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. We can literally, there are literal pages in here of all the things they've done. We're not doing justice if we just tell you that this is all they've done. But do your research. Again, happy Juneteenth. Power to the people. This is the Obsidian Alliance, and if you need guidance,
Come seek and follow the lines.
I am the Blair Thomas.
Major vibes.
Peace.
Yo.